time, you've been joined by UConn Coach Bob Diaco. The Huskies are 1-5 overall, 0-3 in the American Athletic Conference. Last week, UConn had an open week. The Huskies are in action this Thursday at East Carolina, 7 p.m. Eastern Time start on ESPNU. Coach, thanks for joining us on the call, particularly what amounts to a short week or a non-traditional week. If you could just let us know how your open week went as you continue to work on things and as you get ready for East Carolina on Thursday, please.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, as far as we're concerned as a program, being that we're just getting started in the development process here, the longer season is just allowing us to practice more, which is great. And that's what we need. That's what our team needs. We did a lot of things much better in the game against Tulane. Players get better, coaches get better. The whole program's improving every day. Still victimized by game-changing plays and turnovers, and but some of the other things that we're focused on and working on getting better at are improving. So it's been a positive opportunity for us to just get to practice and get extra work.
Take questions for Coach Diaco, please. *1 on your telephone to join the queue. That will put you in the queue, and the operator will introduce you.
And we'll have a question from Dan Tortora with Dan Tortora Broadcast Media.
Hi, Coach. How are you doing today?
Good, and you?
Good. Thanks for asking. You talked a little bit about the bye week and a little bit about some improvements you made in your last game. What are some of the biggest accomplishments to go a little bit deeper in the bye week that you felt like you got out of your team here with the break?
I would say that, we were able to just focus on fundamentals, foot action and blocking and hand placement and all that, and that has that emphasis for the last few weeks, a month or so, has allowed us now to kind of take the next step, maybe put a little bit more stuff in as it relates to our systems. So that overall is a good thing, specifically talking about the offensive line. So we've got a really young offensive line, so they're just trying to figure out how to move properly, and when that's the case, it's hard to move forward with your installation. But as they get better in those areas, we can add some more tools to their toolbox.
When you talk about the youth of the offensive line and just getting them to move properly, where were they at going into the season that you still have a little bit of struggle with fundamentals? I mean, I know you talked to them about them being young, but were they where you needed them to be? Because it kind of sounds like they've been growing as the season's been progressing.
Yeah, but here's what happens. You can't work on two things at once. And that's what's important to understand, especially in your power positions with the O-line and D-line. And it extends to really all positions, but the big skill positions also, linebackers, tight ends. What happens is when you're working on your skill development, you're not working on your physical development. And the players are deficient in both areas, young players. So they don't have strength and conditioning and that core strength necessary to really whip their individual matchup. But they also need fundamental work. So when you're working on your physical development, you're not working on your skill development. When you're working on your skill development, you're not working on your physical development. So normally it's a couple-year process for a power player to get proficient enough to whip his individual matchup, because you need both components to get this job done.
And then as far as some of the struggles that have happened with the team, has the biggest enemy been UConn itself? Obviously, the opponents that you've gone up against, they're all different. But would you say that you've beaten yourself more than other teams have beaten you? How do you kind of assess that?
I don't take any credit away from the teams we've played. But every game has been a battle to the end. We haven't been whipped in any game. Every game has been a fourth quarter struggle, predominantly. In almost every game, we've spotted the opponent, somewhere between 7 and 16 points of uncontested scores. So, you tell me. I mean, if you're paying attention out there, when you have turnovers on the plus 49, the plus 26, and the plus 24, and you lose the game 12-3, you know, there's no doubt that that's the case. So I don't know, you know, at the point that will stop, which it will. We got young players are predominantly at the point of attack of all those plays. When those stop, we'll see. You know, I would imagine, you know, if we continue in the other areas, we'll be a hard team to beat. You know, when we stop beating ourselves.
Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it, and good luck moving forward.
Yeah, thanks.
Next, we have Sammy Batten with Fayetteville Observer.
Yeah, Bob, I guess almost everybody's running a spread offense of some type these days, but is there anything unique or different about ECU's version of that you've seen on film?
I think, you know, in terms of difference, they run the offense, but they have excellent players to run it with. You know, that you see some teams utilize the offense as kind of a neutralizer or try to protect their players' style offense. But this team has weapons. You know, their offensive line is big and physical, and they can run and move. They've got an outstanding back, really a couple of them. You know, top to bottom, an awesome collection of wide receivers, and a quarterback that's, you know, the best in the conference and one of the better ones, more productive ones in the country, and he's orchestrating the whole thing. So, you know, it may be a similar style offense to other spread offenses, but it looks different from a scoreboard standpoint because they got great players doing it. So.
Do we have any other questions for Coach Diaco, please? Star 1 on your telephone if so.
And we'll hear from Dan Tortora with Dan Tortora Broadcast Media.
Hi, Coach. Just following up here, I know we talked about some of the improvements and some of the things you feel like you've been doing right. Offensively, where have you seen some of that leadership step up in this being your first season? What guys have you really tried to see push that? And I know there's been turnovers, but who have you seen really progress so far?
In terms of their play or in terms of leadership? You mentioned leadership.
Right, yeah. Well, their leadership, I guess what I'm saying is leadership on the field, some of those guys making the right moves forward.
In terms of play increasing, there's not one player that's not improving his play. They're all getting better. Our offensive line, Andreas gets better every day. I mean, Andreas is a guy that, you know, you look at and not only is he brand new to football in general, but, you know, he had been recruited to play D-line here, had played no offensive line. Now we have him as lined up at tackle, and so he's been playing offensive tackle for a few weeks. So, I mean, every day is like a new day for him. Every day he learns something new to help his game along. So we've got 2 true freshmen that we play inside at the guard positions. They get better every day. We've got 3 true freshmen at tight end, or 3 freshmen at tight end to go along with Sean. Those guys get better every day. The running backs, 2 true freshman running backs, they get better every day. So, I mean, I can't necessarily pinpoint any one person that their game is not moving forward.
Okay, Coach. Well, I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Coach, we thank you for your time today. We look forward to talking to you again next Monday.
Thank you. Have a good week.
Okay. And that is Coach Bob Diaco from UConn. Again, the Huskies at East Carolina this Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time on ESPNU.